Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Break It Down. I'm gonna do something different in this episode and break down one of my teammates' attacks. It's Commies and Zooks with a twist. Let's get into it. Our target is a level 284 Space Age base. I attempted this base and failed pretty badly. I couldn't keep my meat grinder alive, and my commies couldn't do anything to the base. I walked away with 0 stars. My fellow Alliance member, we'll call him Dodge for short, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, he gives the base another shot. Let's see how his attack works out. What you'll notice right away is that he doesn't decoy at the beginning. He goes straight ahead and drops his meat grinder. Here, he drops his commies right away. Notice the drop pattern. He avoids the northeast entirely. The Blitzkrieg drops here as the commies break the walls. The coalition troops drop here, and so do the Zooks. The armored cars from the town center take out 2 or 3 commies here. The first sabotages come out, and we finally get a sense of what he's up to. He locks down the highest threat defending structures. Hannibal and a few Zooks enter the battle here. He had dropped Zooks earlier, which means he's actually choosing to deploy the Zooks in waves. He drops 2 heavy tank troop tactics on opposite sides of the map. Another sabotage comes through here. It misses the mark a little bit as he only gets the anti-tank gun and the castle, but the purpose is clear. Keep the generals in the castle until it's destroyed. This decision makes a lot of sense, because if a castle is destroyed with generals still on it, the generals spawn with only 70% health. Here, he drops even more Zooks. It seems that he deploys his Zooks in waves so that they don't all get wiped out at once. Here's one more sabotage to lock down the castle. And here's a good sabotage on this group of buildings, protecting his Hannibal. This is a big moment. The generals come out with their reduced health, and Hannibal triggers a signal flare, and it causes the stronghold troops to spawn. This was why we saw Dodge avoid the northeast entirely with his commies. He knew the stronghold was loaded from previous attacks on the base. A sabotage goes out on the last air defense and the garrison to make way for his planes. He drops an Impy army on the northeast to add fuel to the last part of his attack. We've got some big fat generals coming to wreak havoc on his troops. Luckily, heavy tanks deal double damage against generals. Another problem we have here though is that the sabotage ran out, so now the Zook tent is spawning some real nasty shit. Zukov is also wreaking havoc here. He's just so strong. Zukov and the Zooks take out his heavy tanks and his generals. One last strafe from his planes kills the Zukov. He managed to keep most of his planes pretty healthy, so the battle from here on out is won in the air. Now he was able to clean it up and get those clean 5 stars. Now let's break down what happened and why. There are 3 big problems with this base. It's anti-commies and Zooks. The Zukov is a massive pain in the ass, and the stronghold is filled with level 80 generals and other unspeakable horrors. If you're running traditional commies and Zooks, you have to deal with all of that at the same time. It's not hard to imagine how that could obliterate any meat grinder. Dodge's approach covers all 3 problems. Who cares about anti-commies and Zooks if we're not luring the meat out anyways? And if the generals in Stronghold are such a massive threat, let's leave them out of the picture for as long as possible. For almost 90 seconds, there is absolutely nothing coming out of the stronghold or the castle, and some well-timed sabotages shut down the highest threat buildings. This is Commies and Zooks Sabotage Edition. No decoying, no luring. You start by deploying the meat grinder and the commies around the perimeter. Blitzkrieg, deploy the Zooks in waves throughout the attack, and you sabotage the high threat buildings as needed. Big shout out to Dodge for a really creative attack. If any of you guys have creative attacks that you'd like to share, shoot me a message, and you could be featured in a future Break It Down video. But until next time, good luck out there, and have fun.